I can't believe it's been almost 3 years since the last Star Wars movie. Like, it was 2019 that Rise of Skywalker came out, right?
Yeah, was that the last one or was it Solo? No, Solo came out before.
Yeah, Solo was before. I remember liking Solo, like, I think the most, maybe not the most, but I remember liking it. I thought it was decent.
I saw it. It didn't leave an impact on me like that. I think the guy that they got to play Solo, I maybe would have went with someone else.
Oh,
He was
like looks or acting wise?
both. He doesn't look like Harrison Ford to me, but the acting was kind of just. It was like I'm watching the movie and I'm like, I don't know. It seems like this was just a random kind of day in the life.
Well,
And,
I mean, like at the
maybe
end
I'm
of the
missing
movie,
something.
no, because like he kind of changed. He kind of became less innocent, more confident in like being a con man, or not a con man, but in that line of work at least, you know.
Yeah, but it didn't do it for me.
Okay,
It just
so
didn't do it for me.
out of the new trilogy, and I guess Rogue One included, what are your overall thoughts?
I think they should have had an idea.
Yeah, other than just bring Star Wars back.
Yeah, they should have had a plan for
They
new trilogy.
really should have.
They should have had a plan, and even with the newer, with those kind of spin-off movies, like with Solo, like what if, like yes, we're gonna tell an important story about the origin of Han Solo, but
It
what
should
if,
add something though.
yeah, like what if that tied in as well to this
Yeah.
whole, we're gonna like end it all with the rise of Skywalker and stuff. I haven't seen the Force Awakens in a long time. I only saw it the one time in theaters.
Oh, seriously?
But I liked it a lot. I liked it a whole lot. So
It was fine. It was fine.
that one might be my favorite out of the new trilogy. The Last Jedi, I didn't like it at first when I saw it, but my second viewing, I was like, wow, this is actually really, really good. I like this a lot. This is better than I remember it. And Rise of Skywalker was cool. It was fine, but it was like, yeah, this is gonna be the last one.
It
and
really
we're
just
gonna
felt
tie
like
it all
damage
together.
control. Like it didn't. It really just. It seemed like it had nothing to do. So it was like trying to do everything. You know, it was trying to tie together all these things.
Yeah, because the whole trilogy, including the third one, there's that question: what are y'all leading towards? Because the first one, or not the Force Awakens, it's like, okay, who is Rey? Where did she come from? Why is she so connected with? I think it was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan's Kenobi.
It was like Obi-Wan's lightsaber, right? Or was that Luke's lightsaber?
It was Luke.
Okay. So yeah, it was like, you know, what is her connection with Luke? Is she Luke's daughter? You know, and if that's the case, then she would have to. She's related to Kylo Ren, but it seemed like there was maybe low-key a little bit of like a romantic chemistry there. For all three movies, and it's so that was just weird. Like, is he? And he's a Darth Vader type, but he's not, because he's not all scarred underneath.
He was very complex. I feel like he was the best character in that whole trilogy.
Yeah. But John Boyega's character, when he was in the first trailer, and it was like, oh wow, he's gonna be the new main character, and I was really excited to see that. Like, wow, you know, he's a
clone.
He's a clone, but he has like the lightsaber at the end. Like, how is his story gonna unfold? And it wasn't. He was a side character, and then in The Last Jedi, he went on that just really boring side mission.
Yeah, that really leads to nothing because they failed.
Yeah, it was a casino planet or something. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Waste of time.
So one thing that kind of it's a little weird to think about the end of Rise of Skywalker because like she takes on the Skywalker name like herself, but I don't know. I feel like it was kind of conflicting because like she made her own lightsaber. It's that orange one. I don't know if you recall.
Yeah.
And it was very unique. It had like this ring turn-on mechanism, and it was just very different from all the other lightsabers we've ever seen. So I kind of thought she was going to be like I am my own person. Like I'm not a Skywalker. I'm not a Palpatine. I'm Rey. But no, it's like no, I'm just a Skywalker.
Yeah, it seemed like the third one, not even the whole third movie, but just that last scene of the third one was saying. Or actually, you know what?
She went back to Luke's house even though she really didn't have any connection to it.
Maybe it's because of the fact that the Skywalker family has they're the main family throughout 9 movies.
Yeah.
And so maybe Skywalker is also, it's more than just a name. It's like a title almost, like we're the people that are gonna do what we have to do. We're gonna defend the galaxy, and like we're the altruistic heroes.
Maybe like because they're all dead now.
Oh yeah, someone has to carry on that legacy. So it's like a legacy thing.
Yeah, okay.
I do remember J.J. Abrams was saying this is gonna end the entire story, the whole Skywalker legacy. It's all done now.
And I'm very cool with that, it being done.
It needs to be done, yeah. But
yeah.
What happened? It was something with Rey. No, yeah, because Rey, I can see it. It's kind of fitting because she seemed really close with that family, like with
Sure.
Leia.
Yeah.
Specifically, like it seemed like it was almost like a motherly hug whenever like they met, and then she had her relationship with Luke, obviously, because he trained her.
Also, kind of Han Solo, because he was the husband of Leia.
Yeah, and the father of the dude she had a crush on.
Right.
Of her romantic interest. That was still kind of weird though, because
she was really fucking with all aspects of this family. She was in love with. Well, I don't even know if it was in love,
but there was
something
connection,
there.
Though.
Yeah, they had one kiss.
An attraction, rather. But even that was weird because why are you so tied in with his uncle's lightsaber? Because it really seemed like, is she just his daughter or something? Or is she Obi-Wan's daughter? There was that theory going on?
Maybe she was, I don't know, maybe she was just like so in tune with the Force, she really felt how strong this, I don't know, because I don't think lightsabers are in tune with forces.
They're not, but maybe it's
like
because of everything, the lightsaber and the lightsaber's carrier had like been on together, and so
she could just feel the history of it.
She could feel that history, yeah. But
maybe,
it's still like even if she was just in tune with the Force, I don't know. I'm still kind of like, okay, but like why? And like just the whole thing is a little murky to me. They should, when they were making Force Awakens, they should have, okay, here's the script, here's what we want to do with this movie, but also it's obviously going to be a trilogy because that's how we do in Star Wars. And here is where we want it to end, and these are the steps we want you guys to take to get there. Make the movie however you want, more or less, but keep all of that stuff in mind.
Right.
Because when J.J. Abrams was saying, I don't remember if it was before or if it was, I don't remember if it was after Rise of Skywalker was released or if it was kind of during the media like campaign for it, but he had said, yeah, we should have had a plan from the get-go. Wow, yeah, I think you're right, Mr. J.J. Abrams.
Wow, how inspiring, how intuitive.
Yeah, and why were y'all just, because both of the other trilogies, at least the third, the prequel trilogy, that was very clearly leading somewhere. Like maybe the original trilogy wasn't necessarily doing that. It's maybe that one, because I don't know what the history of it was. Maybe they made the first one, everybody liked that one. Let's make a sequel, build off of that one, everybody liked that one. Make a third one, and then just tie it all together, end it like that. But even then, it still seemed more coherent than the sequel trilogy.
Oh, it was. It really was.
It seemed like with the first one, there was a plan.
It's the first trilogy, like 4, 5, and 6, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, whatever. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a trilogy plan from the beginning. But that being said, the sequels made sense because like it really felt like they had a story to continue. Yeah. The new one, 7, 8, 9, those really just felt like we're making a trilogy for trilogy's sake.
Yeah, and when I say the first one had a plan, I'm saying like the first one in the Force Awakens trilogy. That one seemed like it was still like leading somewhere. But like we're just kind of like, this is what we're like hinting to. But then like Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi just seemed like...
They threw that out.
Yeah, like what are y'all doing exactly? You know?
As much as I like Ryan Johnson's Knives Out and Glass Onion looks amazing.
Looper was good.
Looper's great. I really like Looper. It didn't feel like he was doing anything. I like Last Jedi. Like it's a solid movie, but as a part of a continuing story, it really felt like he wasn't doing his job. It really felt like he wasn't giving any room for a third movie or like anything to latch onto, and that's really palpable in Rise of Skywalker.
Because it seemed like he was trying to not convert,
Conclude,
subvert everything.
Oh yeah.
Like you think
the heroes
Rey,
keep failing.
Yeah, exactly. You think Rey has this crazy history? No. Her parents are like nobodies, and her parents weren't anybody important. They didn't matter, and she has a pull to the dark side of the Force, but also to the light side of the Force. Just a very kind of in between character. Mm-hmm. And I think I like him as a director. So maybe if they just gave the whole trilogy to him from the get-go, that could have been a really good, interesting story. Like, and or do the same thing with Abrams. Like, we're going to give you this whole trilogy, make sure you have a plan for the whole thing, and then, execute it however you want to.
Sure. I think, I agree. I actually really think if they had given him Ryan Johnson the entire trilogy, if he had taken that subversion idea that he had, but, like, actually gone through with it, where, like, Rey actually joins the dark side and joins forces with the fuck is his name? Adam Driver.
Kylo Ren.
If she had actually joined forces with Kylo Ren, but subverted the dark side by, like, yes, she's part of the dark side, but she's not evil. Mm-hmm. Like, just because you're joining the dark side doesn't inherently make you an evil person. Mm-hmm. If they had, like, gone through with that and, like, she like spearheads this new empire, but it's not like a terrible empire like how Darth Vader's or Palpatine's was. It's like this unifying good across the universe.
Yeah, because apparently in the Star Wars lore, the thing about the Sith, as like Jedi is all about order and stuff, but the Sith is all about your emotions.
Oh, that doesn't sound inherently bad.
Yeah, unless maybe I'm misremembering something, but it seemed like it was like, if you have passion, like go for it, but it's weird that it's interpreted all extremely negatively.
Yeah.
Because also you look at the Jedi and, they're on some villainous stuff too. You see a baby that appears to be force sensitive and you just take them from their family and then you raise them as warrior monks, but it's, they advocate for peace, but this is also a military organization because there's ranks and they all know about lethal force and stuff. Maybe she either starts her own thing or maybe even like that could lead into the whole gray Jedi thing where it's like we're neither. Because in The Last Jedi, those texts, some people were saying like, I wonder if this is going to tie in with the gray Jedi, and like because it was
is that a thing?
Yeah, the gray Jedi. It's in between, so it's like we fight for peace and justice and everything, but we don't live like monks like how the Jedis do. Like we allow for some of those emotions to kind of express themselves, but not in the Sith way.
Are those in the books, or how do you know? What is that from?
It was in the lore. It was either in the books or like a comic book tie-in with some of the older movies or something.
Interesting. Yeah, no.
Maybe the video games.
They really should have done something new like that.
Yeah, because again, and I keep with Last Jedi, it really seemed like wow, we're gonna see all kinds of crazy stuff, and there just wasn't really any of that there.
It's like it was like half measures, but stayed the same.
There's so much stuff that you could explore with the Star Wars franchise that they haven't. They could have done even just within what they set up. Like not even the outside books, but just the movies. Like because Kylo Ren comes from the Knights of Ren, so maybe do that. You could have maybe a movie that shows how he rose through the ranks or something, or just this is just a Star Wars kind of side story. We're gonna do the Rey type-esque movie, and it's just the Knights of Ren, and this is just like a mission that they went on one time. Just make it like a fun movie, fun action thriller drama, but it just exists within the Star Wars universe. I don't know. hell, even go a little bit more into Darth Vader, because I still feel like even after seeing all of the Star Wars stuff that I have seen, and even after seeing the Obi-Wan show, I still am like, I don't know, maybe just do a legit solo Darth Vader movie, because I never really feel like they showed why is he so feared throughout the galaxy.
Right.
You know, they get into it a little bit every now and then, but you could do that. One thing I would do is just show the origins.
That was actually my idea too.
Yeah.
I thought it would be really cool to start a new trilogy, like way, 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 way back. Like if Star Wars took place at like, I don't know, 100 AD. It doesn't take place then, just whatever.
Yeah.
I want like thousands of years BC.
Okay.
Equivalent to where, like, you know, there's a lot of technology in Star Wars. I would want this to be like almost Dune-esque, where like there is technology, but it looks like different, like kind of biological, or just like not nearly, it just looks different from the Star Wars technology and shit, and like a lot more primitive in a way. And there's maybe the main character, I don't know, young person, or yeah, I'd have it be a young person. I don't really have a story yet, but I thought it would be really interesting if like they show the Force as like this really mystical thing that no one knows about, and maybe it's just like this thing that manifests in this one dude, like he figures out, or this one lady, I don't know. They can start doing things almost like Chronicle-esque, but like not nearly like tone of Chronicle, but like they start feeling things, and like maybe they start sensing people who are like abusing it or something, like hinting to the dark side. Yeah. And but it's used really sparingly, because like they don't quite understand it yet.
Yeah, they're still figuring it out.
Yeah, like, and I don't want lightsabers yet. I don't think lightsabers would fit in this origin thing. But yeah, no, I think that would be really cool. The formation of the Jedi, you know?
That would be dope. To piggyback off of that, like, yeah, it's like thousands or like maybe even like millions of years in the past, and it's a group of people, and like, yeah, they discover the Force, but then it's like, and they're like raised as brothers. Maybe they're not biologically siblings, but they're just like that close or whatever. It's like some nomadic tribe or something like that. But they kind of discover a little bit about it, but yeah, like their views on how or why it should be used are just like really differing. So then that's what causes that rift. So then it's maybe like a Moses Ramesses type thing from Prince of Egypt, where it's like, you know, like, oh, we love each other, but our views are just way too different. So then it's like brothers at war or something like that, and then because it's so far in the past, it just trickles down into like, and then that's how the Jedi were formed, and that's how the Sith were formed, and yada yada yada.
That'd be a really interesting trilogy. Like each movie, they get further and further apart, to where in the third movie they're each other's villains. And
you could even have it, that'd be dope. That would be flames. And you could even have it where the Jedi and the Sith, like neither of them knows the exact origins of the Force, because maybe they weren't
maybe it's existed like forever, you know,
or not the Force. My bad. Well, yeah, but also like just like the origins of whatever like organizations they're in. So like the Jedi's like, we don't know exactly how this started, but you know,
this is a story unknown to time.
Yeah, like this. Yeah, exactly. Like this is just kind of how it is right now, and we're raised this way, so that's why we're just going to keep living this way. And then the same thing with the Sith. Like, it's like what Morpheus was saying in The Matrix. Like, yeah, no one knows who struck first, but this is how we're living now. Yeah. So it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah, that's the history, but we're in the reality right now, and the reality is we're fighting.
Yeah, this is war. Dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, maybe do some movies like you see kind of how a Jedi is raised. So the movie starts off, it's a baby being taken from the family, and then it's just them being indoctrinated basically, and this kind of religious military cult.
So, does Star Wars take place in our reality?
You could argue that, because the only information we have is that it takes place in the past and in a different galaxy.
Right.
So yeah, so maybe when you're watching, the Star Wars movies from like the 70s and the 80s, it actually takes place like if a Star Wars character was to go to Earth, it would be like 1985 or whatever. But just because everything is different in whatever galaxy, that's why things are like that.
Right.
So
right.
That's
Okay.
how I look at it. Well, no, but it would be in the past though.
Well, that's one thing I was wondering. Like, if you put this
though.
basically in the present, it's still in another galaxy. So who knows how that would look? Like, it looks futuristic back then. Like, what would it look like now? You know?
What if it's all worse? The war just never.
Ugh.
It never concluded. They're still fighting. Like everyone's dead or something. Fuck.
That was one thing I was wondering about, because in, the Star Wars movies we've seen, they always say like, oh, I thought Jedi were like a myth or a legend or like, some old religion that isn't practiced anymore. So I'm wondering if like what we were seeing was like legit the last legs of the Jedi, or if that was just a low period in the Jedi history, and like Rey going off as a Skywalker is her like about to bring the Jedi back into like its golden age, or like a new golden age.
That would be dope, yeah. Yeah, like how they have like the First Order and the Empire. Rey did that, but just for not exactly the Jedi, but just for like do-gooders or something like that. Like just not the Sith. So it's like, wow, this is a brand new era of peace. So then like, a couple hundred years go by and maybe there's a Sith-esque character but from their perspective, like, you're just imposing your will on us. Mm-hmm. So then like he rises up and is like doing all this stuff, and then you get like another First Order type, and it's just always doing that.
Yeah.
Like it's always seeking balance, but they don't. Everyone kind of like maybe subconsciously is aware of like we're trying to find balance, but because they don't totally understand exactly everything, it's this constant battle. Right. So nothing ever really gets resolved. It's always just like good is triumphing and evil is triumphing, or like however, but their perspectives on everything is different. So objectively, it's just always people at war.
Yeah.
They're always doing
Star
this
Wars.
like Star Wars. Yeah, exactly. It never gets better. Like in this galaxy, there's always that conflict. There's never really a period of peace.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting.
And then you don't have good guys or bad guys, really. It's just, I was raised with this perspective and I was raised with this perspective.
That would be a really interesting sequel trilogy following Rey's trilogy. Like 100.
Yeah, maybe. Rey's all old and stuff. She's played by like Helen Mirren or something like that.
I was thinking like she's dead, but her character her character lives on as a legend. Like this, she's basically the Avatar Aang. She kind of like saved the galaxy and is heralded as like this, not queen figure, but like this empire leading figure.
What if they did it where they do it where like wow, like you see all the statues of her. It's called like Rey City or some shit like that. Like wow,
and all the citizens are called racists.
Yeah. And it's like wow, like Rey was she was that lady basically. Like everybody looks up to her. Like even the Sith are like, we disagree with her beliefs, but
she was
we all respect her and admire her.
Rey the Great.
Exactly. Yeah. Like unanimously everyone fucks with her. But then like it's some dude like exploring like the underground catacombs and stuff like that. Like, where does this room go? And like opens up the door and it's just like old woman, like decrepit Rey. Yeah, like she's all like fucked up. Like, oh my god, you're Rey. But there's like an implication like, yes, she did all this and she established all this stuff, but something happened along the way, and she was just on some kind of like oh, you kind of how Tilda Swinton was a little bit from Doctor Strange, where it's like you're doing all this stuff for good, but you kind of did some like shady below the table type stuff. Mm-hmm. But they never express what it is. But
it
like
makes sense
implications every now and then
of how she could have been a dark she could have been a Sith, you know?
Yeah, like, okay, wow, and like she can't help herself, and because she's a being of two worlds, you know.
Yo, what if that is like, okay, picture this, right? Everything we just said is still relevant, right? She became this like huge, powerful, influential like leader, basically. But because she has the dark side in her, she did all this shady stuff because she realized you can't have the Jedi without the Sith. So she secretly kept the Sith going, just in like a more like repressed.
She had that shit organized.
Yeah, like she is the underground crime boss, but she did it in such a way like the Jedi were the ones who were flourishing and like being seen as we're keeping the Sith at bay like this. But she's also like she's just like enlightened at this point.
Yeah.
Because she knows she's been through the shit. She's, you know, on her last legs. So maybe like someone comes in and finds her, and she's saying like, I've made it so once I'm gone, this Sith that I've been raising will take my leadership position, and the balance will start again. So the Sith will start taking over once more, and the Jedi will start falling apart or something. And like it's just a trilogy of like this conflict. Maybe it's not going as she planned. Like this dude who found her in the catacombs is like trying his hardest to basically thwart the Sith. But as the movies go on, he's like, the Sith seem like the good guys now because they're just this minority group that don't really practice anything quote unquote bad. Like they're opening his eyes or something. And it's just a trilogy, like not necessarily wholly painting the Jedi as the bad people, but also painting the Sith as not the bad people.
I like that. I like that a lot. That'd be dope. And to kind of piggyback off of that, like, yeah, it's this kind of like neutral eyes of the audience type character. You know, like one of those like innocent, maybe idealistic type characters. And he's like, there's like rumblings of the Sith starting to come back, and like I'm gonna go out and find Rey because like maybe she's still alive or something. It's almost, I don't want to say like National Treasure-esque, but it's like something a little bit like that. Like not the whole movie, but maybe just this aspect of it. Like if she's alive and we can find her, like we can turn the tide, because we can't have the Sith running around. So that's kind of his perspective of it, because maybe his family was killed by the Sith. There's something horrific happened. So then he's down in the catacombs and he finds her, and she's old woman Rey and withering away bars, and they're having like that conversation, and she's saying like, yeah, so I did this and then I did that. Like, it's just no big deal. It was in the past. But he's like, no, you like, he finds out like, yeah, she was on some shady shit. Like you just like working both sides, and this is all just a system of control. Like you're in charge of the Jedi and the Sith, and like da. Like I have to stop you or something like that.
I have to kill you now.
Yeah, like low key, like maybe he even like brings that up, and she's like, I mean, okay, you can kill me if you want to, but I've set it up. So to your point, like I've set it up to where even if I die, at least thousands of years from now, everything is still going to move forward as I planned it. So the trilogy, it's him trying to stop that, because in his eyes, like, oh, she's a monster, and like even the way the
he doesn't see what she sees.
Exactly. Yeah. And even like the filmmaker, like the film would handle it like, yes, she is a monster, but it's because it's told through this main character's perspective.
Right.
So he doesn't know everything that happened in the previous trilogy. So it's him trying to stop this and, you know, get everything back to being basically just, he's trying to reshape this world to fit within his ideals, you know. And the third one ends with, it's kind of like how Infinity War was, where it's a last minute like race. Everything's desperate. Like I'm trying super hard to fix everything and yada yada yada. But then it ends with, you know, like it basically ends with him kind of realizing like, wow, I was never gonna win this. And Rey died in the first movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it ends in this horrific kind of way, but it's because it's
the whole trilogy.
It's his eyes. It's horrific to him, but the movie would like treat it. What's up?
So you would have the end of the third movie end with him being devastated, cause I thought you were alluding like he would end the third movie like, yes, this terrible shit is happening, but maybe he's like grown aware, so he kind of has that Thanos smile at the very end, because like he finally gets it, and he finally understands like, yes, I would think this is terrible, but now that I can see, I kind of appreciate the value of it.
You know what I think? I think I'd actually just have it where the end of the first movie has that kind of horrific ending, like something happens.
That would be
like,
cool.
Yeah, so it's like he's like, oh my god, and like the music is horrific and the imagery is horrific or something like that. But then the rest of the trilogy, maybe it's like this was him when he was like whatever age in the Star Wars universe, where it's like as soon as you reach this age, you're a legal adult. Like for us, it's 18. For the Harry Potter characters, it's 17. Like whatever age, but like he's still young. And the first movie is an eye opening for him. And then part 2 and 3, it's him like every 10 years after that, and maybe even in part 2 and or part 3, he's not even the main character. Like he's a side character. So another character comes in and is like, oh da da da, and then they run into him and. Like, oh my god, like you can't stand for this. And he in the second movie, maybe it's like he's just like really weary and tired, like, and he's apathetic. So it's not that he agrees with how things have gone, but he's just, I'm tired and I'm fed up and I'm just like, I don't care anymore, because I tried to stop it and it didn't work. And then the third movie is maybe, okay, he's an old man now, and at that point he's like, okay, this is what it was, but it's still like a bit heartbreaking, for lack of a better term, for him, because the world that I wanted to live in, where like peace and prosperity exists for everyone, like that world never was,
will
never will be, and it like.
But that's okay.
Maybe I don't know that I'll do like, and that's okay, but that's just how it is.
Okay.
So it ends kind of like, wow, what a. Like not like shitty, but just maybe melancholy or something like that. Like there was I wasted a lot of years trying to fight for this thing that's just never gonna happen. And the truth is that it's within people's nature to allow all of this to happen, to kind of like keep perpetuating it. So there's basically like no hope, but that's just how he views everything. Like, you know, you might meet a character like Donnie Yen's character from Rogue One, but he's like, I'm one with the Force is one with me. Like, he has faith in it. So to him, like, if it was gonna if it was gonna happen a certain way, it would be like, okay, wow. Transpire, yeah, because he looks at it as in a more like religious way. So he has faith in the system and stuff like that. So it's, you know, you can do stuff like that. Yeah. Different characters, different perspectives, and that might even open it up for different genres, kind of.
Yeah. Me personally, I basically agree with that trilogy idea. I would just have it be like not quite as hard-edged as how I'm picturing your idea.
I like characters that end miserably, bro, in my stories sometimes.
And I typically don't. So I think that's why I would split off. I would basically have the same things happen, but I would have it, I would like to have it in a way so like, yes, basically what I wanted to happen didn't happen. Like maybe the perceived enemy has won, but like when they're showing this happen, like it's not like evil is winning. It's it's basically just a changing of the tides, you know. It's not quote unquote you know, heartbreaking. It's just like, this is how it is and life will go on. It's not nothing's black and white, you know. There's hope in the gray, and I would like to keep that in a way. So maybe like, you know, this main character, he's dying too. He's in the same position Rey was in the first one. He's lying on his deathbed. Yeah. He's old, and he finally sees what Rey sees, and maybe like it's almost like spiritual for him. Like it's like Oh, he like dies with a smile on his face. Maybe like the same way Rey dies in the first one. Like she dies like, do you see it? And he's like, what the fuck? And he's lying on his deathbed. He's like, oh, I see it now.
It rhymes. No, I like that. That's cool. Yeah, I like what you said about the gray. Yeah, I would have it where it's like he finally sees the gray. Like everything was gray, and that's like.
Everything was gray. Yeah, exactly.
And that's just how it is. There never was any good. There never was bad. Like everything is gray. So it would just be kind of like yeah, that's how his story. Like it's him accepting it and kind of like it's. I would want it to end in a way where it's like you don't necessarily feel like happy, but you're definitely not upset about anything. It's just like this is what it is. It's great. Take it however you want to, basically. And it's like it ends kind of like that. Like there's no music at the end. It kind of just
and low key
credits.
Us saying it like this makes me wonder if it would be better for like a show more so than a movie. Because I don't know, something about like the scope of it seems like a 3-season like miniseries.
And I know it's a Disney property, but man, if this was an HBO show or something like that, because with basically not with something like HBO, you can get more into those mature, morally gray kind of themes, and just I feel like you can go all the way with those. And I'm not saying like TVMA or rated R, so you can be like super violent or have a lot of like cursing or super sexual, but just again, like conceptually and thematically and narratively, you can delve into those darker kind of emotional or psychological aspects of it.
I agree. Like if they got the team that made the His Dark Materials show to like make this,
I gotta see that.
That would be awesome. That's the exact tone and look and feel I'm picturing for it. Even the CG in that show is fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, no, HBO would be sick. That will not happen.
I feel like Netflix maybe wouldn't be the best group either.
Nah, I feel like they would miss.
Yeah, and I like Netflix generally, but something has been seeming just a little different lately. But HBO Max, ooh, that would kill it. That
would be sick. Directing wise, Chloe Zhao immediately comes to mind.
Chloe Zhao, you had mentioned Denis Villeneuve for sure.
Yeah, no, I think he would be sick. You know, it might just be because of the Batman, but I do think Matt Reeves could really leave his mark on it.
Matt Reeves would kill it.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Because he's great with CG too. With Planet of the Apes movies.
That's right.
Yeah.
How did I forget about that? Yeah, Andy Serkis is going to be on this show too. Honestly, Andy Serkis is older Ray. They just put the makeup on him.
No, I like Matt Reeves to do this. Maybe have Zack Snyder choreograph the fight scenes.
I low-key wasn't even thinking about fight scenes, but yeah, you gotta have like fight scenes.
You gotta. I think Matt Reeves could handle the fight scenes though, realistically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
He killed it.
Casting wise, the main character who ages through the trilogy, I would have it be someone really young for the first one, like 15 or something.
I would do how I did with the James Bond one, where the first one, if it was just like a trilogy for argument's sake, like the first one is a young no-name actor, then the second one an established actor, and then the third one is either the same established actor in old person makeup or a different older established actor or something like that.
Right. Yeah, because we kept the story details so vague, I'm having trouble like placing anyone specifically, and also I don't really keep tabs on the new actors on the scene.
I don't.
So I honestly don't know. It could literally be man, woman, young. Well, they're gonna be young and old, so literally anybody could play this character. So yeah, no. I think the director is the more important.
Yeah.
For like tone wise, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our Star Wars idea.
May the Force be with you all. And to all, a good night.
And may the Force tell you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow our Spotify and Apple Podcast listings.
Oh, the Force is saying, also follow us on Instagram. Ah!